Hey everyone. Last week was something a little different, and now we're back to a regularly scheduled program. Today I'm going to be counting down my top 10
Ooh, I gotta go. See you later. Get back here!
demonic possession movies. And as an added wrinkle, I'm going to be borrowing a page from my kaiju top 10 and sticking to one movie per franchise. As always, spoiler alert. Starting off, number 10 is Insidious. In hindsight, this movie kind of feels like James Wan doing a dry run before he did The Conjuring, complete with Patrick Wilson. The acting is good, the villains are pretty memorable, and there are some very good scares. One thing James Wan has in common with Stephen King is that he excels at instantly making you care about a character and their safety. That's honestly one of the main things that saves this movie from mediocrity. So the first 2/3 of this movie are very solid, but then in the final act, things kind of get messy. It's not that bad per se, but it really hurts the movie as a whole. My score is 3 out of 5. Number 9 is Studio 666. Can the Foo Fighters act? Not really. Does their sense of humor and fantastic use of horror tropes and practical effects carry this movie? Fuck yes. Although, honestly, their performances in this movie kind of remind me of Weird Al Yankovic in UHF, where, according to Weird Al himself, he hired an acting coach not so that he would be good, but so that he would suck less. And honestly, the Foo Fighters, their performances aren't even that bad. They're passable.
Did you hear that?
I did.
Sweet, huh?
Whatever, Dave.
Who cares about a creepy death vibe? Trump sounds this good.
Here's the deal. Shill's a dick. We know this, right? But this is our 10th record. Okay, it's gotta be good. But we gotta make it fast. We gotta eat, sleep, and drink this motherfucker.
This is such a fun little horror flick. Whitney Cummings gives the best performance here. She is actually a good actor, and she's very funny and natural. There are some solid comedic bits, but the horror elements are where this movie succeeds the most. The effects are great, and the kills are gory and creative. I mean, the Foo Fighters aren't actors, but I will say, Dave Grohl does a fantastic slasher smile. Like, goddamn, dude, that is actually scary. And also, I kind of love the ending. Like, goddamn. My score is 3 out of 5. Number 8 is Night of the Demons 2. This movie comes to us from Brian Trenchard Smith. He's not a great director, but as Leprechaun 3 proved, he knows how to ball on a budget. And that very much applies here. The first Night of the Demons was more impressive from a technical standpoint. However, the sequel has a more substantial plot, more fleshed out characters, and more humor. So it gets the edge. Also, it has the most kick-ass nun I've seen in a long time.
Johnny, go find Father Bob. He's got to get over here and give that boy his last rites. Satan has taken his body. Maybe we can save his soul. Bibi, you get over to the chapel and make sure everyone stays inside. Perry, you get over to the chapel.
Where are you going?
To prepare.
The makeup and the practical effects are just as solid as they were in the first movie. The acting is good. It's nothing to write home about, but there weren't really any weak links. Hell, even Robert Jane is good in this, and he usually plays annoying characters. Sorry, when I say that, I mean intentionally annoying characters. Like Melvin from Tremors. That little shit. This movie is kind of the opposite of Studio 666 in that the horror bits are fine, but it's the comedic bits where it really succeeds the most. And also the character interactions. Those actually work better, I'd argue better than in the first movie. The musical score is a small step down from the first Night of the Demons, but it's still pretty good. My score is 3.5 out of 5. Number 7 is Ouija.
Lelouch, I will end you! Go ahead, try and stop me! I'm crazy! Lelouch!
Origin of Evil. Lulu fucking Wilson. That is all. Okay, no, that's actually not all. This movie is one of the biggest improvements I've seen of a sequel over a first movie. I mean, my sister saw the first Ouija in theaters. She was 13 at the time. And she came home saying it was hilarious. Which was not the intention. But no, like, this prequel is actually scary. Like, this is actually a really good movie. It's a period piece, and the period setting is done very well. The cast is all solid. There's no weak links there. The script is tight. You've got Mike Flanagan at the helm, and he generally knows what he's doing. But yeah, Lulu Wilson is fantastic. Elizabeth Reeser, Annalise Basso, and Henry Thomas also give strong performances.
When I asked what our fight was about, I cleared my mind. Just imagine static on a television set. She changed the subject.
Your wife's voice? We all heard it.
It was a woman's voice. That's all. Just a woman's voice. I'm so shocked to hear it come from her mouth. I don't really scrutinize whether it sounded exactly like Gloria. And she only says one word. Enough for me to hear it's a woman, but not enough for anything else. Accent, inflection, nothing too familiar. I don't think your daughter is a fraud. I believe she is channeling powers and forces we do not understand. But I'm certain she was not channeling my wife.
Cinematography is great, the musical score is very good, and the use of lighting is excellent. I mean, this movie is far from perfect, but it's everything the original tried and failed to be. And also other things as well. My score is 3.5 out of 5. Number 6 is Demons. Italian horror is something else, man. I am a big fan of the sequel, but I think the first one is slightly better. The technical aspects are all on point, cinematography, editing, that's all good if not great. Also, the musical score is bumpin'. This is definitely a fairly unique setup for a horror movie. The acting is all pretty solid, and we get to know the characters before things go tits up. Really, the one thing kind of holding this movie back is the I don't know how to describe them, the teenagers, the delinquents, whatever you call them, driving around in their car, who eventually become relevant to the plot. But up until that point, it's just like, why do you keep showing us these people? I love the build-up of tension starting to build, and then shit goes sideways, and everyone is scrambling to fight these demons and try to escape, and it's all very well done and insane. This movie is also a lesson on why you should never ever accept free movie tickets from a fella dressed like a bootleg Phantom of the Opera. The makeup and practical effects are outstanding. The demons in this movie look so damn good. Oh, and also, Tony the Pimp is just the best part of this movie. Full stop.
He's still here, goddamn him!
They ain't gonna get me. That's for sure. Hey, look, there's a body here. Give me a hand to throw her into the stall. No. How the hell do you know she's really dead? And ain't been transformed into a demon? She's scratched, ain't she? And you too. No. Come on, give me a hand before it's too late. You waiting for, you son of a bitch? I won't give you a hand. Christ, she's dead. Leave her alone. You ain't worth shit. Come on, take her legs. Ready?
This movie takes place almost entirely in cinema, and it invokes the power of cinema narratively, because ultimately this movie relies on being identified as cinema for the sake of cinema. And by that, I mean most of what happens in this movie is pure rule of cool or rule of scary. A metal mask that turns whoever wears it into a pustulent ghoul? Check. Demons erupting from the putrid flesh of the infected? Check. A music video segment where a himbo and his girlfriend ride on a motorcycle as he slashes through these hordes from hell with a katana? Check, check, and check. It doesn't really make sense, and it doesn't have to, because it just works. The score is 4 out of 5. Number 5 is The Conjuring. Let's get this out of the way. The Warrens were con artists who inserted themselves into situations uninvited and preyed on the fears and superstitions of others to make a quick buck. That is just the undeniable truth. Now, with that aside, as a work of fiction, this movie is a modern classic and I love it. Every actor, main and supporting, from Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga to Mackenzie Foy and Joey King, is good if not great. The cinematography is top-notch, every jump scare is earned, and some even subvert your expectations. Joseph Bishara's musical score is great. He also plays Bathsheba Sherman, and he gives a solid physical performance as the witch. At its core, this movie's plot is a bit generic, but it's done so well that it just works. My score is 4.5 out of 5. Number 4 is The Blackcoat's Daughter. This movie is an appropriately ambitious directorial debut from the son of Norman Bates. Yes, Oz Perkins. This is a slow burn done properly, more mystery than horror, yet still very much horror. The basic story is nothing new. It's the story of a young girl being targeted and possessed by a demon while those around her are unaware because they don't believe in demons. And yet, it's done in such a fresh way that it doesn't feel generic. And also, just this comes to us from A24, so it looks gorgeous. Kiernan Shipka, Lucy Boynton, and Emma Roberts are all great, and James Remar is perfectly understated.
Hey, are you okay? You can't be warm enough in that jacket. Are you waiting for someone? Well, can we give you a lift somewhere? You've got to be freezing.
Where are you heading?
We're gonna go get back out on the highway, and then we're gonna head east a little while. How about you? You heading someplace?
Portsmouth?
Sure. I know Portsmouth. You park right over there. My wife's waiting in the car. See? Right there. My name's Bill. What's your name?
Joan. My name's Joan.
Joan. Nice. Nice name.
There was a point where I predicted a reveal, and I ended up being right, but there was also more to it than I thought. It was like a question with a 2 or 3 part answer, and I only got the first part. So, well done. And also just that ending, it works. It's like, oh my god. I mean, I'm not even gonna give it away. I know it's a spoiler alert, but I'm not even gonna give it away because you just need to go watch this fucking movie. The score is 4.5 out of 5. Number 3 is Hereditary. Tony fucking Collette. Actually, scratch that. The entire cast here is outstanding.
I don't want to say anything. I've tried saying
Okay, so
things.
try again. Release yourself.
Oh, release you mean?
Yeah, fine. Release me. Just say it. Just fucking say it.
Don't you swear at me, you little shit! Don't you ever raise your voice at me! I am your mother! Do you understand? All I do is worry and slave and defend you, and all I get back is that fucking face on your face! So full of disdain and resentment and always so annoyed. Well, now your sister is dead. And I know you miss her. And I know it was an accident, and I know you're in pain, and I wish I could take that away for you. I wish I could shield you from the knowledge that you did what you did, but your sister is dead. She is gone forever. And what a waste. If it could have maybe brought us together or something. If you could have just said, I'm sorry, or faced up to what happened. Maybe then we could do something with this, but you can't take responsibility for anything. So now I can't accept, and I can't forgive, because nobody admits anything they've done!
There's like 1 or 2 moments where the acting just falls completely flat, but just like 1 or 2 moments. The one I can think of offhand is when the son just I don't remember exactly what precedes it, but this son just like bursts into tears and like hugs his father, but like him bursting into tears was like the exact opposite of the level of acting that he had been performing at. And as a whole, this movie is just a breath of fresh air in the horror genre. The cinematography is phenomenal, the musical score is great, and perfectly understated when it needs to be. This movie is atmospheric horror at its most emotional. There are a couple of plot contrivances and some minor gaps in logic, but like they're easy to forgive. The score is 4.5 out of 5. Number 2 is The Exorcist. This movie is 50 years old. What is there to say about it that hasn't been said already? It's so damn good. Almost every demonic possession movie made since this movie has taken at least some inspiration from it. And yet, it's amazing how many of them fail to comprehend all of the reasons that it works. I mean, this movie, they actually take the time to establish the relationship between Regan and her mother, like giving us a sense of that normalcy before the possession begins. And there are so many newer movies that just either attempt that and fail, or just don't even put in the effort to properly set that up. A case could be made that there's like a little too much buildup, but honestly, no. No, it works. It just works. You have even the things that really don't have much impact on the demonic possession plot. It either tells us more about the characters, or it serves as world building to make the world of this movie feel like it's more than just what's going on in the main plot. Like, it is taking place in a larger world with other things going on around it, and this is just what we happen to be focusing on. And I mean, the exorcism scenes are just done so well. And like, there are other movies that have done them as well, even if the movies as a whole weren't as good. But like, this movie literally set the standard for pretty much all demonic possession movies going forward. And it's a friggin' masterpiece.
You son of a bitch! Take me! Come into me! God damn you! Take me! Take me!
My score is 5 out of 5. Finally, my number 1 is Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn. This is Sam Raimi's magnum opus. This movie is a perfect blend of horror and comedy. It's genuinely scary, and then you also have Bruce Campbell's just outstanding slapstick comedy. The makeup for the Deadites has improved from the first movie, as has the cinematography. The acting is better, the action when we get it is also better. And this is also just one of the best Cabin in the Woods horror movies ever made. Maybe the best, I don't know, I haven't decided yet. I'll probably get around to doing that list eventually. And when I do, it will also probably be one per franchise. It's movies like The Exorcist. What more is there to say that hasn't been said already? It lives up to its reputation. My score is 5 out of 5.
I might actually have to stop at the patent office, because I'm about to invent a whole new kind of pain for you, Lelouch!
Before we move on, here are some movies that might have made the top 10 had I not limited myself to one per franchise. The Evil Dead, Demons 2, Night of the Demons, The Exorcist 3, Army of Darkness, Evil Dead, The Conjuring 2, Annabelle Creation, Annabelle Comes Home, Evil Dead Rise. Hey everyone, what are your favorites? Let me know down in the comments. Like and subscribe and all that. If you don't like the video, tell me why, try to be constructive. And then subscribe anyway, you'll be notified when I upload a new video, then watch that and then tell me why that one sucks. Or maybe where I've improved, or whatever the case may be. I have a Patreon, I've been uploading exclusive content there. So far it's just been me reacting to my early tribute videos, but I have plans to do other stuff in the future. There are 2 tiers. The first tier is just you get access to the exclusive content. The second tier is you can commission tribute videos. Just pick like 3 or more movies that have something in common. Maybe they're part of a franchise, or they have like a common theme or a character, or whatever the case may be, and then pick a song, and we can hash out the details as needed. That's all for now. Stay safe in these crazy times.
Finally! Suzaku!
What the?
Where's Lelouch?
Oh, I think he's outside.
Where outside?
I don't know.
Suzaku?
Yeah?
Why is there a helicopter outside?
What do you mean you don't know how to fly this thing?
I mean, I don't really know how to fly this thing. I can't make it any simpler.
Then how did we get up here?
I don't know, I just started pushing buttons.
What did you do?
Relax, I've got this under control.